In 1993, Ogre Battle March of the Black Queen was released for the Super Famicom, but the game didn't make its way to North America until mid-1995. Within just a few short months, when fans were getting their first taste of the game, Quest released its sequel, Tactics Ogre Let Us Cling Together, in Japan. Like the first title, the game was the masterwork of Yasumi Matsuno. At that time, the SNES was at the very tail end of its life cycle, and there were never any real plans to release the game here in the same form. Given the emergence of the 32-bit platforms like the Sega Saturn and Sony PlayStation, Enix decided to port the game onto both systems. This time, North American fans could rejoice because this version was given a full translation and brought to the PlayStation in 1998. But even so, the SNES version is perfectly playable to English speakers via a translation patch. Also, both versions are actually fairly similar in terms of graphical quality and gameplay. While still a fantasy-oriented strategy RPG, Tactics Ogre is in many ways a significant departure from Ogre Battle. First of all, the overall combat gameplay and battles were reinvented entirely. Instead of a free-roaming map, all battles in Tactics Ogre take place on an isometric battlefield based on a grid. Battles themselves are turn-based, where each character has the ability to move one time each turn. In addition, each character can also execute one action per turn, including attacks, magical spells, and item usage. One amazing thing Tactics Ogre did well with the battle system was made elevation an integral part of combat. This makes it impossible to cross certain terrain, and can also give a positional advantage or disadvantage. Navigating through buildings, water, and other terrain made the player contemplate their moves ahead of time and plan out their strategy. Having to deal with this factor was very creative, and a great way to expand upon what other strategy RPGs had done. Another noteworthy facet of Tactics Ogre is the skill system. In addition to randomized statistical increases with each level, the game assigns each character a specific number of skill points after successful actions are taken. There are several different types of skills, which include missile skills, which fire in a straight line, indirect skills, which are range-based, utility skills, which allow for buffs and debuffs, and transferring skills, which allow the transfer of resources from one character to another. Among the available skills for each class, the player is forced into decisions, sometimes difficult ones, to allocate points. On top of the skill system, there's also a complex class system that allows you to customize your party in a fashion similar to what is seen in Final Fantasy V and Final Fantasy Tactics. Incredibly, there are 56 total classes, which is far more than I've seen in any other game. Unlike some games with a class system though, you unlock new classes as you play through the storyline. Once they're unlocked, they become available to everyone. One of my favorites was the Terror Knight, who is skilled in weakening enemy attacks and defense. Also, the ninja can dual-wield weapons and strike twice in combat. Each class offers something different. And then there's the story. This game is dark. Rather than an uplifting fantasy fairy tale, this storyline hinges upon malevolence, betrayal, and death. The main character is Denam Pavel, a young fighter who joined the Wallister Resistance, an organization founded to obstruct the ethnic cleansing campaign of Hierophant Balbatos. See, I told you the story was dark. Denam's father, Prancet Pavel, was taken in an attack on the family's hometown. There are a huge amount of characters you can acquire through the game, but not all of them play such a large role in the story. And here's a side note. I originally thought the game's subtitle, Let Us Cling Together, was some kind of reference to camaraderie and maybe the resistance at the center of the game's story. However, just like Ogre Battle March of the Black Queen, the subtitle is actually another reference to a Queen song. This was just a factoid I found interesting, so I thought I would make a note of it. In terms of how the game plays out, you usually get storyline sequences that set up battles. Rather than forcing you into several battles at a time, the game does a pretty good job at developing the storyline and characters to give you reasons to fight. Long after its original release, Tactics Ogre was released on the PlayStation Portable in 2011. This version made several changes to the game, including new characters, a retranslated script, and menu changes. I think this version streamlines the class and skill systems very well, and is the best version to play today. I'd even go as far as to say that the PSP version is one of my top 5 favorite games on the system, and it had plenty of great titles. Regardless, both the SNES and PlayStation counterparts are perfectly playable as well. In so many ways, Tactics Ogre was the spiritual precursor to Final Fantasy Tactics. This was because Yasumi Matsuno soon departed Quest and went to Squaresoft, where he played the role of lead developer for the now renowned title. To say that Tactics Ogre's characteristics were influential on Final Fantasy Tactics would be a total understatement. From the grid-oriented battle system, to the dark story, to the skill system, Matsuno essentially recreated the formula he had developed with Tactics Ogre. It's just a total shame then that so many North American gamers played Final Fantasy Tactics, but not Tactics Ogre. All in all, Tactics Ogre is filled with the best qualities of a strategy RPG. The title perfectly blends strategic planning and character development, and it's the perfect corollary to strategy RPGs that fans would have already been familiar with. In Japan, the game was revered and sold 500,000 units in 1995 alone. It didn't catch on nearly as well in North America, where its sales were dismal. Nevertheless, Quest deserves a lot of credit for this title, even though it's so unknown to most Westerners. If you love Final Fantasy Tactics, or the Vandal Hearts or Fire Emblem games, you'll definitely enjoy this one as well. It's completely underrated. If you like this review and remember Tactics Ogre, leave a comment below about the most memorable aspect of the game to you. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel and click the bell below to be alerted upon the addition of new ones. Also, please consider supporting my channel via YouTube's Join feature to receive member exclusives, such as advanced videos and complete video transcripts.